So this is my first time at Super Smash Con. I didn't get to go last year because I had to budget vacation days, and last year was it was an experimental year for them, so I wasn't quite on board. Juggle Guy and Tendu were brought on as TOs, but given that I didn't have too much time to spare, I figured that I kind of sit back a year and see how it's run, and then if it's ran well, then I'd go the following year. So that was this year, and the experiences were overall really good. I enjoyed it. So I'll just kind of run through what I kind of went through. So Thursday night um, I went to work, and then I had to take care of some things, and then I went on an airplane. And as usual, I love sleeping on an airplane, so I pretty much crashed the whole way there. And then I stopped by Atlanta for a layover, and then I ended up flying to DC. Got into DC really late. Uber drivers didn't know what they were doing, so I had to call like 4 Uber drivers before one finally accepted to drop me off at the hotel. Actually, no. I gave up. I actually took a taxi because Uber drivers kept denying my request to drive me to the hotel, which kind of sucked. Anyway, so my room was like Reno Zoo in MACD on the first night. And because I was starving and there's nothing open, it was already like 12:30. I said like, "Oh, can we do Taco Bell?" So we get an Uber, and there was actually a long line at Taco Bell that night because there's nothing really open. Went through drive-through because we can go inside, and we just feasted on like $30 worth of Taco Bell between the three of us. I was so hungry. Anyway, so the next day, I get to the venue and Explorer. I have to go early because I had a panel on Tafo stats, or like why statistics are important. The venue was really cool. I mean, you had a lot of vendors. It was really spacious. You had the main stage area with 2 projector screens, and there was always live music performing. They had an arcade, which was really cool, and then just a lot of setups. It was really spacious. I never really felt cramped at all. And I gave my presentation on why statistics. It was a little bit early in the morning, which was unfortunate. It was like at like 10 a.m. Earlier than I liked, and I think most people who were interested. Well, it wasn't on the little like cards that told you the schedule, so a little less people than I thought that would show up. So it was a little bit unfortunate, but it'll go on YouTube. Thought I did a pretty good job on presenting why statistics are important. And then we played doubles, and I teamed with Mafia. And in the beginning, I was a little bit nervous because we were losing to random players in our little practice matches, but we kind of held it down. We made it to winners finals, lost to Crush and Money Mike, and I think overall we were still not quite on sync yet. I was a little bit greedy on game 3, and we ended up losing. Unfortunate. Game 2, I thought I played pretty well, and in game 3, when we went to Dreamland, I overextended way too much, and I don't blame Mafia for that. That was kind of my fault, but nonetheless, we make it out because of how the pool system works. If you make it into winners finals, you're done. And then I got to, commentate, and that was pretty cool. I'm not sure what the order was of the day. It's a little hazy. I went to, we played doubles first, and, we made it to top 16. We beat a couple teams in losers. We beat, I forget who, and then we beat AMSA and Mr. I, one of the other Japanese players, which was pretty nice. I don't think Yoshi can really do much against Peach Sheik when Yoshi has their approach, so we kind of just abused that fact. And then we had Chillin' and Chew on stream, which I thought was incredibly doable. I thought Mafia was playing well, and I thought I was playing well. But game 2, game 3, they both, clutched it out, so I ended up losing, which was kind of sad. I thought if I played a little bit better, we could have won that and, continued in the tournament. But top 16 is not bad for our first time. And then I commentated with Wobbles, and that was pretty cool. I loved just working with him. He flows very well. And people said one of his weaknesses is that sometimes he can be seen as a solo commentator, and, he kind of ignores his caster, but I really didn't see that at all. Like, I thought we coordinated and jived really well. He's a great guy to talk to, really great banter, and I would definitely do it again. If you guys want to see that, I think it was like doubles right before top 8 that we commentated. We may have done actually some top 8 as well. It was a little bit confusing. I think one of my complaints, speaking of which, was that the commentary, because BG Boot Camp and Tourney Locator were all the way on opposite sides of the venue. The commentating situation was really disorganized, which was unfortunate, but everything else was pretty good. But because my commentator block went beyond the block, I was late for 64. I got DQ'd in winners, and then I played losers. I played against a guy that pretty much had no idea what he was doing. I won that. My next opponent DQ'd, and then I played somebody that actually knew what he was doing, and so I lost. I went 2-2, so it wasn't too bad in 64, considering I don't really play the game much. And then singles was pretty interesting. I didn't have much confidence. I played IBDW in friendlies earlier in the day, and he was winning everything, and that didn't really give me much confidence. I felt like that was a good wake up call because I was very autopiloty and I wasn't really thinking, and IBDW just kept punishing me really hard on every kind of sloppy, like lazy aerial. So I knew that like I needed to bring my act together. My pool was pretty straightforward. Bunch of ice climbers, a bunch of puffs, which seems to be a trend. I went to game 3 against Pudgy Panda, which was interesting because one game won pretty decisively on Yoshi's, and in game 2 we went to Stadium. I got wobbled 4 times, and then I won game 3 on the counter pick. I wasn't too nervous. I know that if I have a stage with top platform that ice climbers can't really do much to me, and I can read ice climbers movement pretty well. And as long as it's not like a top 50 level ice climbers, like I'm pretty confident that I can win it. And then, so making it out of pools, and that was day 1. Day 2, I had to wake up early again. So that kind of sucked. We went to Korean barbecue the night before, which was always cool. It's always nice to hang out with people like Juggle Guy, Crimson Blur, and got to meet some new people that never actually got to have Korean barbecue before. So, I took on the other other non-clicky table, and made sure that the new people that never went to Korean barbecue had a good time. I ran the grill, I ordered the food, and basically took care of everybody at my table. Some great Last Talk Legends people, and Curly W, and another person that I forget. But anyway, I had to wake up early the next day and to do my other panel on creating a narrative, and I just want to help encourage people who are into content creation to kind of figure out how to be a better storyteller. Unfortunately, because it was so early in the morning, I think a lot of people missed out on it. It was like 10 a.m. And so after that, I took a fatty nap for 3 hours, and then I had my pool. I was a little bit nervous. I didn't know how to. I had to play Smash God, and I'm not very confident against Marth. If you look at my history of nationals in Marth, I've lost to like Hybrid, I've lost to Tai, I've lost to the Moon, I've lost to Swift Base at Big Houses and Evos. So like I don't really get much experiences against Marth. So given that Smash God was like an up and coming player, he took Armada to game 3. I was just like, okay, like he seems pretty good. Not too confident. I played a couple of friendlies against Marth players, and it kind of helped me. And I think one of the biggest things I learned was I tried to kind of revamp my style in 2014, where I would try to, because everybody would say like, oh, like you just got to needle camp Marth, and I've tried to implement that strategy in my game. Unfortunately, that doesn't really work for me because I don't play out of the corner very well. I'm more of a PPMD style than a Muta King, where like I need center stage to operate, and when I don't play well in the corner. And so I realized that one of my big issues was that I was throwing needles and giving up way too much stage, and it allowed Marth to just kind of control the map, and it forced me to make really difficult decisions over and over and over again, where like they could get a grab, they just read a spot dodge or a roll, or find me trying to whiff something to try to gain space, and they can just grab me and put me in the corner even more. So in this set with Smash God, I was really proactive, and I'd run in a lot, and if he tried to down tilt me, I would crouch cancel it and then punish him if he wasn't on point. So I realized that playing aggressive really helped. Game 1 was, pretty much in my favor. I think Smash God was a little bit weirded out that I was just running at him, whereas I think Plank and Hat kind of play a little bit more passive. And so it took him a while to adjust. I won game 1. He narrowly won game 2. And then game 3 was spaghetti all over. Like he missed like a couple forward smashes. He literally forward smashed the wrong way. And unfortunately, when I was able to get the high percent, so I was at like 130, 140 many times, and he wasn't able to find kills, and I finally like down through 40 him, and I got the kill, and I ended up winning the set. So that felt really good. And then I played Shroomed. We went Sheik Ditto's game one. I had the lead the whole way, and then he just made some really good plays and reads on me to seal game one, which I was a little bit disappointed by because I almost had a full two stock lead in the beginning because I was just outplaying him really hard. But he just adjusted. Game two, I went Fox. It kind of threw the game. It was really awful. So I'm never going to go Fox again against Shroomed. He's learned the match. He's gotten a lot better. In losers, I played IBDW, and it was pretty interesting because I played him yesterday, but given how well I was playing against Shroomed and Smash God, I thought I could do it. Figured out one gimmick about IBDW, which kind of carried me through the set for a good clean 2-0. And then I kind of just sat around and waited. The other side of the bracket didn't go as quick. And then I found out I had to play either Siren or Nintendo. And I was like hoping Siren because I was like, okay, I don't want to play a really good Ice Climbers like Nintendo because, he actually eliminated me at Evo. So I ended up getting Siren, but then I kind of have a conflict here because I was like, okay, I'm doing top 24 commentary the next day and doing analyst desk. Like, do I really want to win this and have a really complicated schedule the next day? And I don't want to discredit Siren. Like, he played really well. Like, if you look at his bracket on day two, like, he beat a lot of really good players. So I don't want to discredit him. But I kind of concluded, like, hey, like, I kind of want to focus on doing the content. And if I have to worry about matches and have to run around on top of doing the desk and doing commentary and making sure Tafo stats works, like, it would just not work out for me. So, I played my set, but I told Siren, like, I wanted Siren's confidence to boost because I want him to come back to the scene. So we went back and forth. He'd take early leads, and then he would lose him because he was playing reckless or anxious. And I just basically told him, like, while we're playing, like, hey, like, you're playing anxious right now. Like, you don't have to fish for an up smash. Like, relax. You're playing really well. Like, keep playing your game and don't force anything. And that's what I kept having to tell him because every time he'd build a lead, he'd lose it. And then I would have to, like, remind him, hey, just, like, relax. You got this. Like, don't let the pressure get to you. And so he ended up winning. And I ended up so he ended up winning. He played well. But he's always been a guy that's been a really good player, but has like tournament nerves, and it kind of gets to him. So I'm glad maybe this will tempt him to play more. So after I was eliminated, it was pretty cool. Like, I got to chill, hang out, play friendlies. For some reason, every money match I played against people who would walk up to ask me were Ice Climbers for whatever reason, and it was kind of frustrating and funny. I think what I'm going to do in the future is, like, I'm going to ask what character they play, and if I don't know them, because playing Ice Climbers like one after another is kind of like tiring for me. But so yeah, that was like day two. It was pretty fun, and then once again we went to the Green Turtle, which was a nearby diner, and we had a good time just hanging out and chilling. And I think that's a lot of the parts what I really enjoyed about Super Smash Con, which is the amount of time I had to just hang out and chill with people and catch up with friends that I haven't seen for a while. And then on the last day, the analyst test was in the morning. I had to wake up early again for that. So all 3 days, I slept late, woke up early, was really exhausted. Analyst test went pretty well considering how I had to scramble for guests at the last minute. We had Juggle Guy, Nintendo, and myself, and I kind of had to wing and carry the Brawl and Smash 4 portions of the analyst desk because the other two don't really focus on it too much. But I think it went pretty well considering, what we wanted to do. It was just basically a pre-show and a recap of the other two events. Watching 64, by the way, was amazing, and watching, other games throughout the weekend was really fun. And then commentary with Fendi was pretty good. I did have some moments of panic after where I wanted to make sure the Tafo stats looked good. So the little picture you got before the match, I panicked when it showed Westball's Mewtwo King because it showed all zeros, and I was worried that my API to Gimmer wasn't working. I was like, oh god, like, I'm pretty sure Westball's and Mewtwo King played in 2016, but then I looked at my database and I was like, oh wait, they never played this year. So top 8 was good, and the cool thing was I was able to Mango has been kind of asking me, like, in a half joking, half serious way, if I could, be his coach So I got to fill in those shoes this weekend, and that was really cool to do because it's because I don't have all the tools and all the fundamentals to really play at a high level. Like I can't do a bunch of things that Mango can do in terms of movement and the toolkit he has. But it's really fun to really pick his brain and just get him talking. And I've talked about this before on another stream where basically, to coach Mango and to kind of teach him, you just basically ask him questions, and the best thing you can do for him is to get him to think out loud. Um, and so I'll just say like, oh, like, how are you feeling right now? Like, and a lot of our conversations kind of came on the finals day. I made sure that he had the HTC set up to practice on, and that he could practice against Johnny. So I provided resources for him. But at the same time, I asked him after every set, like, oh, how are you feeling right now? Like, do you feel confident? Do you feel tired? Do you feel like you're getting frustrated? And just basically got him to think out loud so that he could process. Because I think he internally processes a lot, but I think when he verbalizes certain things, it gives him the confidence to kind of like reaffirm the things he already knows. So I basically facilitated a lot of conversation with him. And I just basically told him like you're playing pretty well, you're well rested, like you just got to play confident, but don't play cocky, and you got this. For Hungry Box, we talked about a few things. In particular, we just kind of said like, hey, like, what are some things that is not working out? And basically, Mango's just said like, hey, like he's trying to call out my approaches, like it's not working, and I'm going to make him approach. So he's playing really defensive, and then we kind of pointed out some micro situations. So one of the things that we really want to implement, and I kind of asked him like, what do you think about Hungry Box's rolls and spot dodges? And he was just like, yeah, like I want to hit it, and then I kind of said like, hey, like I think it's just better. You're winning when he's approaching you and you're cutting him off. Like, why don't we just have you try to call out one of those rolls and spot dodges, and if you don't, um, get a hit or an opening, just run to center rather than because if you miss or you mess up when Hungry Box is rolling towards the side, you can get grabbed and you can get killed. So rather than that happen, why don't we re-emphasize positioning here and get you back to center and shoot lasers again? And then basically just said like, hey, like we got to cut the sloppy full hop nairs because those are the ways that you've lost in the past, is that you full hop nair into crouching Hungry Box and he just crouch cancel grabs you and then kills you. So those are like the two main things I emphasized, and I just said like you're like beating him in neutral, like, and Mango realized that too. Is like whenever Hungry Box was forced to approach, like Hungry Box would have to really hard outplay Mango to get the opening, and Mango realized that like he could intercept them and win the air-to-air interactions, and so that's kind of what we focused on. And Mango just played phenomenally well. So like I did very little. I just made sure to just reassure Mango, just have his confidence up. I think that's mostly what probably Crunch does, during the last moments of a tournament, is just make sure that Hungry Box feels confident and that he feels like in the right frame of mind. And that's what I tried to do with Mango. Just got him water when he needed it, got him resources, and just made sure that he was thinking and not autopiloting. So that's the main things. And then overall, like if we were to recap SmashCon as a whole, like I thought it was a great tournament. If you're in the area or if you're thinking about a summer major, like it is one I highly recommend. Like there's a lot of things, a lot of cool vendors, and just a lot of cool activities beyond Smash. Like there's the arcade. There's like rest areas, there's cool vendors, there's like music playing, there's panels, things that like you would only see at SmashCon. You had the 64 combo contest, and just a lot of cool things just to see. It was really fun. Like I'm definitely want to go back next year, and I really highly recommend it. They did a great job, and I have nothing to say but high praise for the event.